Thank you so much, Simo and Ender, for getting us this far. Now it's all up to me and my co-pilot in A Evil Cat. My name's Tanner Metro, in finishing out the show. Mimi, we are in for a fantastic matchup. But before we get there, we have to take a peek at kind of what went down to get us to this point. And I'm hoping, as a Valorant fan myself, yourself, everybody in the chat, they're feeling the same hype that we are here.
Yeah, I mean, I am so excited, Tanner. We get to send someone to Berlin. The winner of this matchup goes there, but let's take a look at what has happened to, well, get us to this point. And, well, in the bracket, I feel like there hasn't been too much crazy in way of upsets quite yet. We started things off in these upper quarterfinals, and, well, we had the Sentinels 2-1 Rise. I guess you could call that a bit of an upset, right? That Rise took that map off Sen. Pretty impressive for them, but after that, Sen cleaned up. They closed that one on out, and Envy, in a very close series, taking down TSM.
Very close in that one, but I think, again, like you kind of stated, nothing too crazy as we continue to work our way down. It's XSET with the 2 over, Luminosity Gaming, and then 100 Thieves taking down FaZe in 2-0 fashion. So those wins fairly quick. We had a long start to the day and then a pretty short finish right there in the middle. And I'm expecting to get things to go just as deep as we've seen previously with these two teams, because here on this broadcast, most importantly, we're going to be taking a peek at XSET and 100 Thieves once more. They faced off previously in Challengers 1. It went the way of XSET. We've got a whole lot on these two teams specifically, kind of getting away from, I guess, this head-to-head matchup and really what it means for both of these squads to be here at this moment.
Yeah, I mean, it means a whole ton. And if we can take a peek at that XSET roster, there's a lot to say about them, because XSET, it's a team that definitely had a rough start to this year, right? Like, they were making some headway. They qualified into Masters 1. They qualified into that first Challengers Finals, but in both those big events, they bombed out pretty early. It was a 7th, 8th finish in both of them, but now they've made some changes. They bring in Def. He's that new IGL. He's bringing a new style to the team, and, well, clearly it's working, because they have been improving in a big way. They took down the Sentinels in a best of 3 and put up a huge fight against them in that final of the qualification for this regional final. And then Zekin as well coming in, the young gun. This kid is 16 and he is fragging with the best of them, Tanner.
Fragging with the best of them. We heard it in the interview. We heard it previously on the day. A lot of people chalking this one up that honeymoon phase. So it's really up for XSET. Now that they have the pieces in their hands, they have to try and put it together to qualify for Berlin. And the team that they're playing is a team that they just beat recently, who have a lot coming into this one on the line as well. Your first strike champions in 100 Thieves, who they've been struggling to return to form since their triumphs at First Strike. They made some roster changes, and again, they went through a handful of, I guess, triumphs and failure in bringing Ethan in and figure out where he slots in. But most importantly, Mimi, this matchup alone, every time 100 Thieves comes into something like this, where there's so much on the line, Masters 1, Challengers Finals in Stage 2, and now this one here, everything we've seen, it's been win in quarterfinals and lose the next 2. Well, they won in quarterfinals. Now they need to break the curse. Do we see it here? Do they lose out the next 2, or can they finally return to the 100 Thieves everybody wants to see and make it to Berlin?
Yeah, and I mean, they have been, it feels like they're coming back to that form. Asuna has been going absolutely mental in some of these previous events, and Ethan, well, it finally feels like he's found that role that works for him. In that earlier series, we saw him going insane on that Sky, and I mean, with Steele's calling, the experience of him, Hiko and Nitro, you have some old dogs in this team, and that really can bring a lot. That brings that knowledge, that brings that discipline, and we've seen that with 100 Thieves. They're disciplined to this. They have kept at it. They have continued to grind and continue to try and regain that form. But we've said a lot about the 100 Thieves. Let's hear a little bit about them, or from the 100 Thieves themselves.
We did win First Strike, and we were seen as the best team in North America.
100 Thieves, they've done it. They are your First Strike North America champions. What a performance, Sean.
I think Austin has had some of the strongest individual performances we've seen out of any player, maybe across any region.
When I saw Austin getting 48 kills on Icebox, it was the craziest thing. Just him dominating like that. 100 Thieves have probably the best duelist in the world, and I expect him to pop off in the playoffs.
People saying that I'm like a top 3 player, like top 5 or whatever. I don't really feel it because I'm just in the moment. I'm just kind of just doing my thing.
What in the SEAL Team 6 is this?
I don't put too much stock into it. I don't really try to think as much about like the consequences. I'm just doing whatever I think is best in the moment.
He's got that just raw skill. It's sort of underdeveloped. It's not quite there yet, but you see it every time he plays. Now that he's surrounded with these strong players and the roster is coming together, he can just go buck wild.
Coming from CS, we have a lot of experience. Myself, I've been playing for 13 years competitive Counter-Strike. Hiko, Nitro, they've been on the competitive stage for, since 2014 at least. Hiko longer than that. Ethan's been on a top team since like 2016 or 17. So we have a wealth of knowledge and experience coming from Counter-Strike, but that experience takes you so far in Valorant.
100 Thieves is disappointing. They get close, they have close games, but they never seem to finish. And me personally, and a lot of people out there, we think it's a strategy in the comp lineup, but at the end of the day, the matches are still very close and they're still almost making it. I'm seriously hoping that this time around they get it together because they belong on top.
I understand why the fans and even, maybe 100 Thieves as an org hasn't been the happiest with our placings and the happiest with our results, but I promise you, as bad as you think you feel for us, I promise you we feel worse. We're putting in a lot of hours, we're practicing a lot, we're hiring support staff, we're hiring analysts and assistant coaches and all these different kind of people that are helping supplement the team.
I think 100 Thieves could easily make it to Berlin. I think they're one of the best teams in North American Valorant. They've got a ton of veterans on the roster, plus some young guns like Asuna, who can help drive the performance level up if the team is starting to crumble a little bit around the edges. It's the high pressure situations that they're going to excel at because they're used to being in those situations.
We're not just here taking it easy and just going through the motions. Like, we are grinding and we want to win, and that is our #1 goal, to make it to Berlin and hopefully even win Berlin. And I think we have the possibility and the capability of doing it as long as we show up and we do our jobs and we do what we know we can do.
As they pick up the dub on Icebox 13-7 over Envy.
This is the moment that everything's been building up to, and there's no not making it.
In that video, we got a little bit from 100 Thieves, but most importantly, one of the star players that we're going to be taking a peek at here today, that being in Asuna, and the head-to-head up against. Unfortunately, we didn't get to hear it from his mouth himself in Zekin, but we get to see it from the stats alone as we run this one down. We've got them in their duelist roles where they feel the most comfortable. But Mimi, these stats, they lean pretty good for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, to talk a little bit about these players, it's almost a direct comparison. The young guns, the very, very young players. Zekin at 16, Asuna just turning 18 years old, and they're both playing at the highest level of this game. For Asuna, I mean, in the video, you saw 48 kills in one series. He was going insane. That first blood percentage, one of the highest of a ton of players in the VCT circuit. This guy is so good at just being the tip of the spear, being that initiation and finding the opening frags for 100 Thieves. But for Zekin, I think it's less about the raw fragging power, which he 100% has, but it's his flexibility. He plays the Raze. Sometimes he plays the Reyna. We've seen him play the Phoenix. We've even seen him hop onto the Sky as of late. This player can do it all, and both these young players will have the opportunity to help push their team towards Berlin. But Tanner, let's take a peek at where we're headed with the maps.
This is going to be the most important here, especially since we're coming off of a rematch. And this is my first look at where we're headed. We expected to see the Haven. We expected to see the Ascent just a bit. And the last one being split, this one throws me through a loop as we take a peek at those bans as well. XSET going with the tried and true. Take it away, Bind. And 100 Thieves opting into the Icebox ban. Mimi, they went crazy. A 13-4 victory the last time these two teams met just a month ago, but 100 Thieves ban it away.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I was 100% expecting a split ban out of this one, but it doesn't happen. 100 Thieves has been banning that map quite consistently, but they're leaving it open. And now this map pool really starts to favor XSET a little bit for me. Haven, in that first map we're headed to, it's the choice of XSET, but in the previous showing between these two teams, XSET did win it, but it was a very, very close overtime affair. I think this map of Haven is going to really set the tone of what we see going forward, because both these teams are very strong on it. For both these squads, it's honestly one of their best maps.
Yeah, and the last time they met, it went just as deep as you can go without kind of doing a TSM impersonation. It was 14-12 way of XSET. So you change a couple of things and maybe you win that one if you're 100 Thieves. Same thing with the Ascent. I believe it was a 13-10. That's another very close matchup. We were talking about this though, that Haven one specifically, as we look to load up into that agent select to see what's changed outside of the earlier composition. But I think that this one could easily be a stomp for one of these sides. I'm not sure which, because maybe we get a bit of overcompensation. XSET saying, let's do the same thing that we did because we already beat them and change a little bit. And 100 Thieves saying, hey, we know what to fix. Let's fix it. But the game is played out completely different. Obviously, I'm hoping that we get into deep waters here on Haven, but let's take a peek and what we can expect, and it is that same comp that we saw from earlier in the day for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, the triple initiator. It's a very interesting one. Steel normally rocking with that Senti role. He'll switch on over to the newly minted Agent of KO, and I mean, I feel like he was having a lot of impact with it. 100 Thieves was looking strong on this map. Nitro in that classic role on the smokes, and everyone else working the initiators besides Asuna, who, of course, you're going to put him on this Jet. He's so flexible. He's almost always going to find impact on that role, and he's a huge linchpin for this for this 100 Thieves squad. And as well as that, the heavy initiator comp enables him with that flash and dash. He can go straight on in. There's so much util to set this guy up for success. And if we flip the script and talk a little bit about XSET, well, this is where we see Zekken's flexibility. He's onto that Sky and leaving Pure R as that Jet.
I think one of the scariest things is when you take a peek most recently at this matchup. Obviously, the composition a little bit different for 100 Thieves, so we're expecting a minor change maybe in that play style. But Zekken absolutely sky diffed Ethan. I don't know if Ethan was just having an off day. Maybe he didn't have his Red Bull or whatever it may be. But Zekken went absolutely... I mean, he really diffed everybody. But if we're going agent to agent, I think you can put a lot of weight in that Zekken basket here to get things going for XSET, most importantly. And I love kind of taking a holistic look at things, that we get the Astra versus the Omen. It's not the Astra Viper, but we're seeing a lot of weight be put back into the Astra over the Omen, and you get a whole lot more in your utility pool with that.
Yeah, that you do. I mean, I want to talk a little bit about kind of the smoker head-to-head. You brought that up a tiny bit, but I think that Haven, it's the classic Astra map. It's that A lobby control that teams have been doing for a long time. Well, she might be a little bit clunkier now with the slower cooldown. She's still very powerful, and I think if you're going to put that in the hands of someone, it's Def. He's the mastermind of this squad. He's the IGL, and he's very strong on these util-heavy agents.
That he is, but here we go. Game one of the series that will send somebody to Berlin. As 100 Thieves and XSET battle it out. It's the spike out towards mid for just a moment. 100 Thieves on the defense. XSET looking to mount their attack and trying to make it a quick one out towards B.
That they are Def. Looking to be the first point of contact here, but notice on the map, 100 Thieves already claiming space out towards that A-long area. They have a good bit of information, but B-take, it's a full retake setup from the likes of 100 Thieves. Now they'll have to be aware as the spike does come down from Pure R.
A lot of respect given on that push out through A lobby. Aaron is going to be here, and Asuna maybe privy to this. No, not ready for it all, but he doesn't go down. It's damage. It will eventually be traded out as Aaron backs away, and Ethan picks up a couple across the map as the numbers get cut down. It's 100 Thieves in the lead on the site. Hiko to fall. Now in a 2v2 situation. Aaron still on the flank. A couple of right clicks can go wide as Nitro tries to trade it back. Def is holds it down on the site. Finally, get all down to the Sky here. And Ethan, we hyped him up in the difference. Can he make the difference here in the pistol round to get the show rolling? Unfortunately, doesn't have the time nor the HP as XSET secure the pistol.
A round that looked initially so strong for 100 Thieves on that retake. They had that initial position out towards A long, and they were able to push a flank off of it, but Aaron, he was holding an incredibly passive position, so they walked straight past him, and well, he was able to have that counter flank in the late game, shut down the man deep mid, which left that final player in Ethan isolated on the site. A good pistol round for XSET. It'd allow him a strong buy up into this. 100 Thieves didn't deal out too much damage whatsoever, and they're just going to stick on to the classics for this second.
And damage the name of the game in a round like this, unfortunately for Hiko. It takes quite a bit more than I would imagine he hoped for. At the start of this one. Does have a couple of shock darts, but at the very least, I think just recently, Mimi, you and I have seen a lot of Sovas get so much out of their utility. So maybe Hiko able to do the same thing. Positioned up inside heaven on the A site, hoping to be able to use those shock darts to delay a plant. Unfortunately for 100 Thieves, the stack not going their way just yet as that spike still hanging out towards the spawn, and it might just come down to kills in this one as Def will fall. It's Ethan to pick that one up. Now BCJ in a tough spot, but it's a shorty from downtown. Now a weapon retrieved. And again, it's a pump fake back towards A, but XSET headed back towards C.
Weapons are recovered here, but look at the health on everyone. No regrowth available for Ethan, and 3 players down past that half HP mark. You see the Cypher, VALORANT hunkered down towards garage, so he can hold a bit of this flank here, as well as having that tripwire out towards long. XSET, they know they have the gun advantage, so they want to play the range here.
And also another player still with the recovered Spectre. Could be that tip of the spear. 100 Thieves still keeping strength in numbers. Unfortunately, it might not amount to much, and I say that, but Aaron falls is another weapon to be retrieved, and if you're going to make a play, you have to do it right here. The guiding light not going to find the information just yet as that recon bolt goes on through. Another guiding light to follow. Ethan taking a bit of damage. Nitro next to fall. The Spectre starting to come online, and XSET will close out the anti-eco.
XSET convert, but really at what cost there? They got kind of monsooned out towards that A sewers position. The shorty and the shock darts combination picks up 1 frag, and Austin with that weapon starts to make things dangerous. 2 players will fall in the round for XSET, and I have that tough decision. Do we commit to this bonus and buy light, or do we invest on into the rifles? And well, the decision is to invest that Vandal bot up for death, but full weaponry for the likes of the 100 Thieves, and a pretty heavy play out towards mid. You see Steel on the KO with a knife lined up for early information.
And with this reinvestment, at the very least, into shields, that Phantom bot up, so that damage definitely meaning well going into this next round, at the very least for the economy for XSET going into the following. Obviously, it feels like whichever way this round goes, the losing team going to be in a tough spot. 3 creep up. Austin a little too quick on the trigger. Able to find one. The spike will fall, but now retrieved and planted as Steel picked one up out towards mid. That garage player looking for the lurk. Unfortunately, not able to find it. Now the rotation to come on through. They fake the plan on B. Hiko can hear the footsteps. Now 2 pass on through as all 3 up on the site here for XSET. Low HP as it's only Zekin completely full. Hiko tosses out a couple of shock darts, trying to delay the spike, yet to be planted as a trailblazer for information. A player ahead, but the health aplenty for 100 Thieves as they look to retake the site. This is before the spike even goes down. Zekin has nowhere to go, nowhere to hide as they swing around. 100 Thieves lose 2, but they win the round.
100 Thieves, they just did an impeccable job there of keeping the pressure up. XSET initially working a hit out towards the B site and then split that in towards A. It was good because they identified the weakness. 100 Thieves, they're playing a Sentinel-less comp. You don't have those Cypher tripwires to lock down the B site. You have to commit someone to play that location. So the initial call was good out of XSET to try and get that spike down on A, but for 100 Thieves, it was just the pressure. They never relented. It wasn't really a retake because spike never came down. There was enough utility to delay it, and that's a huge little anti-bonus for the Thieves to pick up. Look at this. Austin is so aggressive out mid, and it's a large chunk of damage exchanged on both sides. Death down to just 21 HP.
Yeah, and the implications, right? We're seeing that in kind of buying up in that bonus round for XSET. What should be their round 4 full buy, it isn't. It's still pretty good. It's better than a bonus because you have the 3 rifles, that Marshall, that Spectre. It's just not where you could be. And if you think to yourself, maybe if Def had something a little different than the Marshall, maybe he picks up a kill nice and early as Zekin. Gonna use that regrowth to try and top off his teammates. We'll see how much is left in the tank, and it looks like just enough to get Aaron up to 78 health himself. As XSET, they've slowed things down for just a second. They lean out towards the A bomb site. The drone going to give the information, so Hiko will back away, and it's Hiko and Nitro to try and hold this one down.
Steel already has worked his way up long, so they have good information that this is either mid or out towards A. Smoke well timed from Nitro. That'll delay any trickery from Aaron, and as the cabbages popped in, so is the trip. Pressure is on for XSET, but Def deals with Asuna towards mid.
And I talked badly about the Marshall, but it finally gets some value as Nitro up on top of the box can go unchecked, as Aaron will find a second on the round for 100 Thieves. Now it's all up to Nitro to try and hold things down. The spike just on the opposite side of the box, and the rounds will go right through them. BCJ cutting the numbers down as Ethan falls. Steel on 1 health and a 1v4. I shouldn't have said anything about the economy because that was plenty for this powerful XSET squad. They're back in the win column.
We were hyping up Def there, we were hyping up Zekin, but maybe we need to be hyping up Def because this guy just found 2 crucial picks with the Marshall. He had that lurk up mid the whole time, which is interesting because he plays the smokes, but he'll still sometimes play into those lurks, find that information, and well, he found the frag onto Asuna there. The next set, just clean on the execution out towards the A site. And I mean, for the 100 Thieves, even though they had info there towards long, they really didn't have a whole ton out mid. They knew that there was still at least one player there. That was Def, but they didn't know if there was any more, so they didn't have the opportunity to fully gamble A, and in part, that's what caused the loss of the round. Now they're just on a thrifty round here, and they're working their way down mid. C site should be free for XSET.
And an early 0 point for information. It only tags Aaron, who gets to tag himself. The dash away. So nice little looky here as Steel to make sure his jet stays alive. But Aaron has done the damage. 22 health. No regrowth available again for Ethan in this round. As well, Steel wants to match. Not 22, but 21. Now it gets a whole lot harder for those 3 to get some damage dealt in this round. A recon bolt in just a few seconds. But it should be secured for XSET as the fairway goes through. Unfortunately, doesn't get the value they had hoped for. Nitro able to pick up one as Hiko pushes through. Now it's all up to Nitro. Last man standing inside of the garage hallway will fall once more as XSET string 2 together.
It's a very clean anti-eco there from XSET, only losing out on 2 members. The 100 Thieves, they kind of saw that XSET weren't normally working too much towards that mid control, so they push on down, claim that space, but for lesser arms, it's the retake. Most of the time, not going to happen. However, in this round, we have a reinvestment, and we have a bit of a change-up in the way they're playing this defensive side setup. Now, that KO of Steel working his way out towards A, and also there as well. In this triple initiator jet setup, we're going to consistently see Austin moving around, playing new angles, because he needs to stay mobile. If they get a read on where this operator is, well, it gets pretty easy for XSET to find a read of the game.
And how about a read where the spike is? That Trailblazer surely should have seen the spike down out towards long C. So some information garnered there. Not going to draw rotation just yet. As XSET do a pretty good job working really all through the map. One already up into that B site, maybe going unexpected. Now going to hear the footsteps of both Steel and Hiko rotating through the spawn, whereas Zekin planted firmly inside the garage. So they've bought the rotation. They know they're leaving their site. And with that information garnered, XSET gonna head right back towards A. Well, Asuna tried to have something to say about it. Gonna miss on the first shot as Def picks up Hiko, trying to rotate back over, but the pinch onto the side. Now Asuna completely trapped in. The op will fall, and in a 3v3 situation, Def pushes for more. Steel undetected for a second, but Def will fall. No command to be popped, and now the retake to come on through. It's an operator in the hands of Aaron. It's BCJ stuck underneath Heaven for now. The cross should be spotted. XSET, can they battle their way out of this one?
Oh, Steel's already found one. Aaron has the trade back, but he needs a little more. Just him left in this clutch. 1 bullet in the op. He's found the shot. 33 HP. Classic needs his right click, but Nitro's around the corner. Nitro has the frag, and in the 1v1, 100 Thieves will find their second round.
That was too close for comfort. That round really came down to Aaron getting 0 RNG with that right click and it not finding all 3 rounds to the head of Nitro and popping his grape there. But either way, for 100 Thieves and 100 Thief fans all around the world, you can breathe now. I know you're holding your breath in that one as Aaron looked to do something heroic, but it's still a lead for XSET as we take a peek at what we just saw. And I mean, that right click, the RNG again just didn't go your way. And Nitro I believe was half shields. So you're not even looking at the 50 shields there. So that easily could have gone the other way. But for now, 100 Thieves, they still trail 2 as Asuna looks to go aggressive. Has the knives off the back end of a guiding light. Not going to find too much. But able to assume that position for a moment and force up the Trailblazers. So not bad, some utility traded out.
Yeah, unfortunate there with the team flash. You might have been able to find a couple frags off it, but instead it's forced to fall back. Trailblazer down, a drone exchange. So information both ways as the Hunter 3 popped by XSET.
The Seekers come on through as Pure pushes up. The knives are going to go wide for Asuna, not able to convert. As Pure hops right onto the site. BCJ able to find the next kill, opening things up. Steel is still here. A fragment to slow things down to force XSET back. They are still ahead in numbers as Aaron creeps up into that garage position. Unfortunately, a team flash. We've seen a couple of those here in this round, but for XSET, they've got the man advantage. Steel a little worse for wear, and again, the armor not in the best spot for both Nitro and Hiko as that spike slowly creeps on up. It's only Nitro. Hold it down on the side, able to pick up one, maybe doesn't spot the other. Now looking to peek that same angle as the recon bolt can give the information. A dark cover, but nowhere to go as the spike will be planted. The 3v2 retake, 100 Thieves down to their last 2. Gonna move all the way across the map, and they're looking for the crunch.
Drone and an arrow on a recharge for Hiko. He'll initially pop that drone towards spawn and try and find some information. Steel working this flank around. There's no tripwire, so XSET, they just have to hold for this. And with the knife queued up, looks like he actually might re-rotate to join Hiko from garage.
This is such a tough place to be, especially if you only have that knife to work with. You can't make any of these crazy pop flash plays through that cosmic divide. So it does look like 100 Thieves are going to concede the round, trying to find some damage on the way out. And well, Steel does it again. 2-0 ahead of Def in those awkward exchanges around the corners. With 2 remaining for both sides, the weapons will be hung on to, but XSET will grow their lead to 3.
They lost that op, unfortunately. Nitro was holding in on the sites, but he did fall. It was big work there from Steel because he flashed out of the smoke garage and he got that fragment down. That's what initially delayed that C-exec and forced the cut noise and the re-exec out of XSET, but they just had the bad read. They thought it was going to be out towards A. They lost that 50-50, and well, XSET was just able to push back on in. Looks like might have a tactical pause coming on out, and it's out of the 100 Thieves.
I love that. I know we're loving this tactical pause here. A lot of the times we don't see it quite early enough. And again, if anything, I think one of those, we kind of built up the storylines for both of the teams, but as we take a peek at the pressure, right? You have so much on 100 Thieves as an organization. Yeah. Obviously you have just as much on XSET, but I think when you take a peek at the players to the individual pressure that they feel, 100 Thieves might feel a little bit less given the names that they have on their roster, where you've got not only some young guns, but some players who maybe don't have the same pedigree. So this is, for a lot of them, the biggest match that they've played in for the biggest event that we're about to see for Valorant. So this could quite easily be one of those timeouts that just slows you down for a second and lets you rethink things, try and find a way back in. As we take a peek at the buy, it's a hindered one for 100 Thieves. They're able to pick up some rifles, some light shields, but Nitro unfortunately stuck on the Sheriff. As we take a peek at what I got on the other side, Aaron going to be hanging on to a Spectre coming into this round. So the firepower just about matched off the back end of 100 Thieves. The ball is in their court.
And it is. Aggression here out of Steel. He already popped that knife early on. Seems aware that there's at least someone in close. A bit of aggression also attempted out towards mid by Asuna. He dashes back. The dog reveals Steel, and well, he's just stuck in a corner. Def to gun him down. It's a free opener for XSET.
And Ethan took quite a bit of damage, I believe, inside garage earlier in the round. So now you're down to 2.5 players as you try and retake the site. The economy wasn't great either. It was 100 Thieves timeout, but they opened up the playbook to see what they could find, and it's looking like a flawless round as Ethan walks away, looking to save here. Nitro, only the Sheriff to play with, so maybe the player that does try and play the exits. But at the end of the day, XSET now to 6.
Yeah, this does just have to be the save, at least for that rifle of Ethan. Nitro, like like you say, go for the exits, try and get something done. But I want to talk about early on in the round, because it was super smart from Zekin. The dog ran straight past Steel in that corner, but I think he just kept going straight. He pretended that the dog didn't see Steel, and Steel, he was none the wiser, right? He thought he had just pulled off something super sneaky, but that wasn't the case. He was cut down, and I mean, XSET converting flawlessly. These executions have looked so clean out of this attacking squad.
It didn't ring true, but a flawless round bodes well when you take a peek at the economy at hand for XSET. It was pretty good across the board, but it was still Aaron on that Spectre. So now the economy's starting to get built up, which means you're not too worried if 100 Thieves picks up a round here or there, because you'll be able to buy into, well, yeah, you'll be able to buy for quite some time. You got Zekin and BCJ sitting just above 7,000 credits, where it's looking like a hero rifle in the hands of Ethan. No shields on the sky either, and we'll see if Ethan can be the hero that 100 Thieves need in this one, or if it is just kind of damage control for the squad.
Drone coming up towards C. It's another slower defaulted round from XSET, leaving one man out towards C long, and the Cypher initially on that lurk towards A. B site, again, the destination. It's a flash on in, and Austin forced to dash away.
Dashes away early. Unfortunately, nobody there with the utility to push the plant off. And, well, Zekin was in a tight spot for a second, but Pure R gonna bail him out. Fortunately, Ethan not there either with the rifles. Nitro gets the tap onto the spike. Beautiful tap with the Trailblazer there. Steel now stuck in a bad spot. The shots go wide. The bodies will fall. And now Hiko and Ethan, the initiators, need to get something done. They're completely split across the map. Well, now they're all up to Ethan here in a 1v5 situation. Another save coming the way of 100 Thieves.
This is where it just starts to feel bad, right? 3 rounds in a row where you just have to hold on to these weapons, try and keep something going. It wasn't Eco in that round, and well, now Ethan's revealed 53 HP. There's going to be a manhunt underway, and he shouldn't be able to hold on to this, but Ethan actually finding 3 frags. Still 2 more to contend with the next set. They'll cut their losses. It's damage, but I mean, XSET, they already have a massive economy.
Yeah, we talked about that right at the beginning of that one. The economy is fine. You definitely don't want to be doing things like that, though. That stings a little bit. That makes it to where your economy doesn't continue to flourish. If you're giving up rounds like that, eventually we could get to a point in the game where a team is winning, but because every single round they're getting down to the last one or the last 2, even on rounds that they've won, things look a little awkward as... Well, Aaron, the king of awkward here in this round as he messes up the cyber cage, unfortunately. Did have a second one, though, but both used nice and early, so nothing really to maneuver for the Cypher as Pure R gonna find Ethan, and again, Ethan on Haven. Having a hard time finding his footing. Hunter Shiri across the map, not gonna get too much here for Hiko either, as they all break away from that one. C-Site, the final destination here for XSET, as they've got all the utility down. It's a 4v5 retake for 100 Thieves.
Def is still garage window as well, so he's holding that extra space. However, Austin has found a frag. It's BCJ cut down. Hiko droning through his forced fallback out of Def, but Asuna just dashing on in. The aim is strong. He finds Aaron. Second, though, out in mid. It's lurk for lurk. It's Def to fell Nitro and Steel to fall in mid as well. Asuna still on the site. The shot is so crisp. He's looking for the ace. 3 already for the young Jet. The spray is good. It's 4 for Asuna. Now left to Zekin to clutch, and Asuna spraying away. Asuna has the ace.
Asuna finds the first on the planter in BCJ and says, I'm not done yet. Pushes forward with a dash onto the site and cleans up the entire XSET crew. What a round from the young gun of 100 Thieves, and that's exactly why we highlighted him in this one. This round specifically, Zekin was also starting to pop off and maybe stealing it away, but Asuna wouldn't allow it with 5 rounds, make it the last one in the chamber. Finds the ace, the round win for 100 Thieves, and all of the momentum now in their court.
So just look at his aim. He's going for it again. Bladestorm up and a fight out towards lobby.
The Trailblazer narrowly missed, but it did spot out where the 5-0 in the last round Zoomer is. They do look to back away from this one, not before Pure R finds that frag onto Hiko. Oh no, Steel trades it back. So one boomer down, the next one steps up, and BCJ the next to fall. Up down to the last two with a dash right into the sights of Aaron, and Zekin finds a couple of kills. Now the neural theft for the information lets them know they're way across the map. So in a 2v2 situation, 100 Thieves, both players looking to beat feet back towards the A site and forced to play the retake.
His timing is good, even up top, but Zekin's holding for it, leaves it down to Nitro. Versus Stu in the clutch. Paranoia is still up, and a possible fight against Second, but Second has eluded him. He's already back into the smoke. Spots him out, but Nitro still stuck towards spawn.
He's got information on both players. Is going to look to play around the dark cover with the Shrouded Step, just a fake. Trying to create some extra paranoia from the kit. The guiding light online, going to give the flash. That's pretty trivial information. Since they know Nitro pushing onto the side is going to hop onto the spike, look to go halfway. Again, the paranoia getting so much done. They line up for a 2K, but Aaron to sit him down, and XSET to 8.
8-3. Now the scoreline in favor of this XSET squad, and 100 Thieves. It looked so good off the rip. Steel found himself a double spray down in that fight for lobby, but Asuna maybe got a little bit overzealous. Dashed straight on into the line of fire. He was gunned down. Steel fell as well, and then it was a 2v2 where the members of 100 Thieves were completely isolated. These small mistakes are definitely going to come back to bite this squad. Still, if they can manage 4 to 8, it's definitely a winnable half, especially on a map which very much benefits their attacker-sided comp.
And so what? Asuna's not online with the blades, but Pure R is. The Steel was looking for a wall bang early, now able to rip the jet out of the sky. No, will not, as Pure R picks up a second.
Oh my
Pushes
God.
for a third, is able to find it. Now Nitro in another clutch situation, unfortunately, for the Omen of 100 Thieves. It's a 1v5. He starts off with the first, no damage taken. Has some utility to play with. Is going to look to ult over towards that A site. Now might just get checked. Zekin is going to do just that. The next set, 9-3 here at the half.
A dominant showing from XSET. Every single member popping off when they needed to. I mean, 100 Thieves, it's a half that they can work with. It's winnable, but that pistol round is going to have so many implications.
So many implications in 100 Thieves trying to get back into this one. But as you said, it's one half down, the second half to go. We're going to hop away for a short break. When we come back, we'll see how this one concludes. XSET with an aggressive lead here in map 1. 9-3 is where they find themselves as they start their defense. And Mimi, 100 Thieves on this pistol, they got a whole lot of splaining to do.
That they do. A lot for them to shift around, and Latsing may have the heavy momentum favoring XSET right here, right now. They had some great moments. They had some clutches. The Asuna ace, but what they need is consistency. They need rounds on the trot. They need momentum. And this pistol round is what can garner them that triple initiator, a jet. They have the comp to get it done, but for XSET, I mean, they're just looking hot.
That they are. Outside of the one round from Asuna, it feels like 100 Thieves have been a little flat. Now, maybe they're waiting to come online here on their attacking side, and they looked to have the right read there for a moment. That 0 point onto the C site would have found both of players with the utility to try and stop you there. It looked like it went inside garage and didn't find a whole lot as 100 Thieves creep up here towards the B site. Nice damage traded out onto Zekin as he sent out the guiding light. He's completely nearsighted, but still finds one in response. Sasuna hops on the kill feed, and Hiko to grab another. Playing slow, but getting it done as Pure R goes a bit too fast. And this pistol, a near flawless so far as BCJ, the last one standing, but not for long. 100 Thieves have a short break. They come back firing.
They come back swinging. It's a quick hit out onto that B site. And, well, welcome to the server, Hiko. Those were his first 2 kills. And, well, now this is his chance to keep up the momentum. I mean, what was I saying? For XSET there, they only really had the tripwire to initially defend. So they were stuck into playing the retake. And what makes a retake difficult is Asuna was a little bit angry and wants to get in your face and fight for those kills. And, well, fight he did. A 3K for the young Jet, and he's buying up a Vandal into this second round. Just a light investment. Scattered pistols, a Marshall up for XSET.
And that investment, I mean, it could in turn bite them in the butt going into the next. We saw their round 4 full buy be a little weaker as well. They still managed to find the win. Unfortunately, this won't be the round for them as 100 Thieves look to find their fifth, and Aaron just narrowly misses out on a timing as fragment. Frag gonna go the way of Steel. A near flawless around the corner, and what better way to end your bonus than in flawless fashion? 100 Thieves to 5.
That's gotta feel good if you're 100 Thieves, right? You come off a really rough half, and then you just get something to bring your mental back under check. You get that moment, you talk with your coach at the halftime, and now you're right here, you're right now, and you just had a strong start. 4 rounds away from removing this gap between them and XSET, as it is just a bonus round for the 100 Thieves, but with that Asuna Vandal buy in the previous, it's a very strong bonus round with that. Everyone postured on pretty wide spreads, so they might look to take things a little bit slower in this one, but with that triple initiator, it can pop out at any time.
Enemy tag.
In terms of utility, at the very least, the only thing that's a bit weaker, I'm gonna hold that thought as Asuna goes up and over the top of the utility. Aaron not gonna get the tag there, but Ethan will get tagged up himself, trying to queue up a guiding light to get himself out of dodge, but just couldn't do it in time as they all funnel inside. That's where Asuna wants him, picks up 3, now looks to close out the last 2 here. As Pure R split away from BCJ by a fragment grenade. It's gonna be a tall task here for XSET. One that they surely can do. As shots for the Radiant box cut down BCJ. He go to close it out, and it's Asuna again, the tip of the spear for another 100 Thieves round win.
What the hell is this guy made of? How many moments will it look like a rough round for 100 Thieves, and then Asuna will single-handedly turn that ship around? I mean, for XSET, they just made some mistakes here. The double swing, but the spacing is weird. They line up, and Asuna will always be one to capitalize. That is a bonus round 1, and I mean, we were hyping up that 100 Thieves need momentum, and a round like that is exactly what you need, because XSET back down to the save here.
Out of my way.
Now the aggression maybe needs to be reeled back in just a bit, because we know these thrifty rounds can easily swing the wrong way. Things starting off nice and good though for 100 Thieves. Zarin, the first to fall. Def will follow as Asuna only using the blades here in this round. Tosses over a weapon to power up his team. Now with the C-site taken, it's BCJ to pick up 1. So damage done to the economy. Make it 2 was the last one standing. Pure R trying to get some more and just couldn't do it. As Steel looks to get that plant down to stack the ult up. Looking a bit closer to a tie game here, Mimi.
Yeah, it's a bit of damage done with the Sheriffs of XSET, but overall 100 Thieves finding out 4 rounds in a row. And I mean, this is a scoreline that now makes you think that maybe that first half was competitive, but absolutely not. 100 Thieves just stronger on the attack. Another attempt at the rifles for XSET, and Pure R is on that operator. You see, he's kind of playing this tandem role with Zeka, and when they occasionally play that double duelist, they're kind of in this little pair, and well, when it's a Sky and the Jet, it works just as well, and you see the success there. It's Pure R to find a huge frag in Asuna.
And a very small boat that 100 Thieves are in. It was Asuna right behind the sails, blowing as hard as he could to get the ship going. And well, unfortunately, he's taken down early. So maybe that ship stagnates just a bit. XSET back on their weapons. Look to find a bit of extra damage. Not going to find the frag onto Steel, and it will be healed up, but Armorless now is the KO.
Seekers available here. Ethan will pop them for a spot of information. One headed out towards A, 2 towards this B site. So the information imperfect, but with only one directing its way towards the A site, we're going to initially put some pressure there, but they're resetting. They know that there are Seekers against them as well, so they don't want to overcommit before these Seekers hit to give information. Now, 10 o'clock to work with in this mid-round.
And XSET, good to not pull too far. They weren't close enough to play right behind the Seekers, and they saw where the direction of the Seekers was headed, but it wasn't enough time for them to rotate. Left. So they're still hanging out, waiting to see if they can find maybe a bit of noise, a bit of information. 100 Thieves look to push up onto the C site once more. The last time we saw this hold, it was Asuna picking up 3. out towards that garage area. This time, not going to be alive for it. A 5v4 as that spike gets planted. The clock ticking down. Ethan manages to get the plant. Doesn't take any damage in doing so, and it's Nitro, the damaged Omen, to try and play aggressive here with Skill right behind him. Nitro picks up one, but they're traded right back. XSET in the driver's seat, but just for a moment as it's all up to Ethan. Guiding light goes through, looks right into the flash, has nowhere to go as the family photo around the corner. XSET back in the win column.
100 Thieves, I mean, I've seen them do it a few times there in the C-Site post-fun, so they don't always, I mean, they're not always a team who's going to play for long. When they know they're at a deficit, they'll always go for that fight, and normally it's a stack up towards long. You wait for the first man to come through, take that contact, and try and even the odds before you start to pull back, but in that one, it just doesn't work out. You do get that brawl towards spawn that you're looking for if you're the Thieves, but you just can't win out on those gunfights. The op from Pure R, definitely the hero in that round for XSET.
4 in a row traded out for 1. It was a bit of, again, bonus-esque for 100 Thieves. There was a Spectre in play, now going to be a full buy. Again, 100 Thieves hoping not to lose a member early to the operator out towards the A side. Hiko going to hold things down. BCJ able to trade some damage back, but takes heaps as he heads back towards that C site. The no command. BCJ still manages to find not a frag, but downs the robot. And Zekin unspotted, but through the wall. Ethan will steal it back. The resurrection now online, and Steel rejoins us as we look to push on through. Hunter Shuri on top of it as Hiko inside the kill feed. It's Aaron still holding it down, and Pure R, who better than has the knives from downtown, will pop the grapes, but he runs out. The operator might not be enough as the shot goes wide. It's 100 Thieves once more putting a tally in the win column.
It's so awkward there with Pure R in the end. It looked like there was a world where he could steady his aim in time and find that shot, but it doesn't happen. And XSET, their one round, well, it just stays to 1 in this half. 100 Thieves continuing to look good. And I mean, what looked fantastic in that round was Hiko's Hunter's Fury. It was perfectly timed with the split out from Garage. And I mean, the man who was trying to anchor in that little corner completely caught off guard. If you're in the Hunter's Fury beam, it also blocks your vision a little bit, so it was easy pickings early on for 100 Thieves. Is now we find ourselves in another XSET Eco. 100 Thieves looking for 9, but Pure R, what a shot onto Asuna.
And this is the closest 100 Thieves have been, really, since XSET started to pull away. 9-3 at the half. They bring it back within 2 rounds, and Def flirts a bit too much with the fragment there. Steel gonna find the second. That's Pure R down. So no trade to come on through. A 2-for-1 overall as the Spectre will back away. An XSET now to play the retake in a 3v4 situation. A Trailblazer for info. He's going to spot out Nitro. The shots aren't going to land. They go just a bit wide, and Aaron takes way too much on the way out. The shock darts to delay, but 100 Thieves looking to secure another.
2 versus 4 for the retake here. XSET. And the game is still just damage. Winning the round is the dream, but it's not looking to happen. BCJ has already fallen. Zekin does find one. It's a nice shot with the Sheriff, but the 1 versus 3, time already so far gone, and the Thieves aren't going to give these fights away for free. Ethan with the step on out, and the shut down to Zekin. 9-10. Now the scoreline. XSET. This is where you start to have to get just a little bit nervous.
And this is the closest we've seen it thus far, and I think most importantly, XSET, that last round that they picked up is the only one in the half. So now we're 1 away from tying things up, but fortunately for XSET, they've got the bye coming to this round. They had the eco into the last, they did some good damage, not enough to strip the weapons away coming into the next, but they should be able to stunt this here. They should be able to have, at the very least, they have the tools to reclaim that 2-round lead. You take a peek at the last one. It's Pure R. I mean, this is, again, it's why these players are just so darn scary no matter what they have in their hands.
Yeah, that feels bad for Def too. He thought he was going to be able to find a gap, but does not quite happen. It looks like we're in a bit of a longer pause, so I imagine this is an attack out of XSET. Not sure of the nature. We'll let you guys know as soon as we know on our end, but yeah, we'll be confirmed there. XSET tactical timeout. And I mean, this is the perfect time. Right? They're starting to choke a little bit. These rounds are slipping away from them that probably shouldn't. Now you're back onto the rifles. You have the operator in your toolkit. This is the round you need if you're XSET.
Yeah, 100%. And I think out of the couple of rounds we've seen Pure R with the operator, outside of the play over towards C, because that was just so incredibly hectic. You have a 1v2, you're kind of out in the open. He's been pretty good at the start of these rounds, at the very least, locking down the A site. The first time we saw the operator, he sat Asuna down, and that was the round secured. So that kind of is the win con for this XSET squad, right? Stop, you know, you have to break off the tip of the spear, and then, well, at that point, it's just a stick. We'll see if they can do that here as we hop right back on into it. We get the old school tactical timeout. I love that we get the it's the old school tactical timeout versus the new school earlier in the game. And well, VCJ is gonna get aggressive out towards mid. Finds the first, goes unchecked for way too long. Still here, Steel trying to get something more, trying to find the trade onto BCJ, but Zekin bails him out. Now Nitro, information given, position given up as well by the trap wire. Now Thieves down a player.
Flank is already starting to come in here, and Aaron is clearing out this space. They know the remaining members of the Thieves are all trapped in towards the C site, and Util still plenty for the retake as Steel will set the spike down.
Owl Drone trying to find the tag. The op shot not going to land there. Hunter's Fury, though, trying to split him on the side of Zekin falls. It's a 3v3. Pure going to trade angles here. Aaron picks one up onto Hiko, swings a bit too wide. Out towards Garage. Steel with 70 HP inside the dark cover. It falls. So does he. Now Nitro in a 1v3. A very healthy 3 members of XSET as the dart goes through. The op will fall. Now in a 1v2, maybe they're expecting the Omen to be elsewhere. No way. Nitro almost does it. But it's the classic from BCJ, the RNG, and XSET to 11.
Well, XSET, they did everything right there, but it was almost stolen away by Nitro. He's so calm and collected in the clutch, but it's not quite enough. XSET, a huge round for them to win. That was the tipping point. You lose there, it's even. Your economy is reset again. But let's talk about the early round setup, because that aggression down mid was impeccable. They found 2 frags off it very early on, only trading out for a singular frag, and the information setup they had to allow that heavy mid emphasis was pretty cool. They had a cam deep towards A long, and they had that soul trip out towards C, so they had full information, even though they were heavily committed to the mid position. However, play like that's not going to work twice. XSET needs consistency, and it's pure R in the sewers with the operator in hand.
And no trade to be had. Ethan falls. They've got the tag off the Owl Drone, but it was a bit too late. Now Asuna in a tough spot. The Trailblazer tagged him up, but from the shadows, Nitro behind enemy lines, gonna toss out the Paranoia, looking to help the team out from heaven, has the high ground, and Zekin with the low ground, not able to find anything. Hiko trades it out, and it looked good for XSET for a moment, but 100 Thieves, they battle back as they storm the site. Now they got a 2-player lead, make it 1. Zarin steals one back.
Weapon recoverable here for Aaron, and Shock's still up for BCJ. They have the util they need. It's winnable.
That it is. 0 point. Not going to stop the utility from coming out just yet. The run and gun was in the mind of Aaron. Not able to find it. Hiko going huge with the 3K on the round to match the double digits of XSET.
From 0 to hero. No kills in the first half, and now Hiko picking it up in a huge way in the second. The Sova performing as we would expect of the Clutch King himself. Now for XSET, I mean, we saw the harm that previous round caused them, where Nitro almost clutched. Their money was knocked down to nearly 0. They had a super scuff buy in the last one. They decided to force in. I think it was the right call to force for that momentum. You did win the previous round, so why wouldn't you? But now they're on a full save. This should equalize this at 11.
It should. It's Pure R. Takes too much damage to hang out there, forced to dash away. But the knives are online for the Jet. I believe that's exactly what the play was for, to get that orb online, grab that orb over to the Jet, to have the Blade Storm online. Will be healed up by Zekin as well, so that regrowth moving strong in these eco rounds. 2 ults to work with for XSET. 100 Thieves. They continue to play this default, the slow style. So much respect given to the Sheriffs and the Pistols of XSET.
I think this is a good pace change for 100 Thieves. They've been rather quick in these last couple of rounds, and they know that XSET has been wanting to make these aggro plays. That one crucial round that they did win, it was off aggression. And the previous round that they won before that, it was a fast stop play. It was an early frag. They know what the win con is for XSET, so they're trying to counter that out quite perfectly. However, there's some disadvantages to this style as well, in that, I mean, just have to slow it on down. You let that clock bleed out and it can be dangerous, but this fake is already perfect. Asuna one-man dash up, he has pulled all the rotations, but Def in the right spot finds Nitro, looking for a second onto Hiko. Hiko needs to win this duel, but Def smart to just fall back and find his team to cut this rotation.
And this is kind of scary, right? Because you've only got 2 on the site. Maybe Hiko to fall here, and the strength in numbers, fortunately, Asuna able to back out his fellow teammate. The Knives gonna go wide, but only for a moment as PR back in the kill feed. Now a 3-2 for XSET in terms of player, a 1-player advantage on the retake. Weapons recovered. And it's up for Steel and Ethan to go huge in this round. As the blades come through, the blades will fall. The last 2 pushing up towards long. The recon bolt, the guiding light, 1 to be traded out. Steel goes huge, pops a grape, and does it again with the fadeaway.
Oh, XSET. This is all slipping away from them. 9-3, and now this half is 11-11. I mean, talking at that halftime, Tanner, we were like, this game is all but over. XSET's looking so strong, but 100 Thieves, they have proved themselves consistent, and they have found a way back on in. This is a huge attempt from XSET in that last round. It's a fake sold towards C. They realize it's a fake, so they cut off the rotation spawn, recover some guns off it, but Steel, he was fully blind for that second kill. I mean, 100 Thieves.
Hitting away.
Yeah.
That's the 3rd time he's done that on this map. Twice to Def. Now once to Zekin there. A huge frag to have. Now we're all knotted up, and they're looking to go from slow to fast. The rifles in the hands of the Knives pick up one. A nice paranoia. No, it was the Seekers. As Hiko grabs one with his ult as well. So a 2-for-1 trade out towards the C site. The spike. Not planted, not secure, but it's there as Steel goes on the flank, not on the Sentinel, but instead on the KO. Only good for 1 as it gets traded back, but it's 100 Thieves. Still a player ahead of Zekin. Looks to try and play the crunch here. Low HP on the sky. BCJ needs to get something done at the very least. Find his 2 so Zekin can find his 1.
Well, he's being held here as well. Ethan is ready. The off angle established. Second cut down, and Nitro. I mean, he doesn't even have to see his opponents to find these frags. 100 Thieves have found themselves match point.
Wow. Not only an incredible comeback, we saw a 9-3 half, so of course we could expect a 9-3 half on attack in response. But this game going as deep as it has, almost mimicking the first one, it would take a round win from XSET to do that, to get us into overtime. But yeah, it is rough in the wallets of the XSET squad.
They have ults to work with. 3 up. Zekin somewhat close. Frags away, or an orb and a frag, and he'll be able to recover that one. Everyone on XSET has to be feeling the pressure. This round is everything. This is their map choice. After this, you go into Ascent, a strong one for the 100 Thieves, and it wouldn't be over. Still winnable, but you don't want to let a game slip away like this. And the Hunter's Fury pop. I actually connected onto 1, but no kills will follow.
One of the 3 ultimates used as Ethan takes down the trap wire, and again, it's respect given. It's a change in pace for 100 Thieves. We've got a minute left on the clock before they've opted into anything. A shot gonna go wide from Def. He takes just a tidbit of damage before backing away. Now the null command gonna stop all of the utility left in the hands here of the players, rotating over towards the safe site.
They're already out. Marshall up, and Ethan through the wall. What a shot from the sky. It's Asuna towards spawn. XSET down to 3. Aaron in the smoke. He's suppressed by the KO. Spam coming through. He's under so much fire, and he tries a desperate play. It doesn't work. Now 2 versus 5 for their life in the map. XSET dropping down. It's second to fall. It's BCJ, the last man, through the wall. Finds Asuna, but 2 bullets. 4 kills needed. This seems impossible. The shot dart forward, a shot onto Steel, but Nitro has the trade, and 100 Thieves, despite the odds, bring it back and take map 1.
What an electric map. The back and forth, and I think the best part about it is we got so much out of our head-to-head in the Zoomers. Zekin, the tip of the spear for XSET, Asuna, the tip of the spear for 100 Thieves. And it made for such an electric map. And again, it went just as deep as you could without overtime, like we've seen previously between these 2 teams. So that one was I mean, one for the books.
Yeah, it really was, but it's only map 1 of this best of 3 series. After the break, we will find out, will 100 Thieves head to Berlin, or will XSET fight back in?